The drums are a part of an African ritual, and in celebrating writers from the African diaspora at the National Black Writers Conferences and Symposia, we pay homage to writers throughout the African diaspora, and we acknowledge the ritual of the drum. Welcome to the 2015 National Black Writers Conference Biennial Symposium.
Thank you for sharing with us this special and memorable day dedicated to celebrating Danny Glover and exploring voices of resistance and liberation in the arts.
Art should be educating. Education should use art to educate the public. So that belies the importance of this conference, to be able to educate, to be able to inform.
Those of us who can't make it here every year in this very important, what the Kikongo people would call it, would maybe an mbongi, right? They call it an mbongi, a house without rooms, a place where privacy doesn't have room, where you kind of mix and put together a learning space that is liberated, emancipated space. And that's what this space is, really. Looking at that picture of Medgar Wiley Evers there on the wall.
If I don't tell the truth, I might as well die. Resurrect, tell it better in my next life. But I got the power and the time right now, and my fam to pick me up when I fall down. So I stand steady with my hands ready, palms open to God, prayers to Allah. This is my first scripture. On the first day of revolution, there were mothers looking for sons and sons looking for answers.
What kind of a goddamn poem would it be? Well, look at it.
He is not forgotten from whence he's come and to whom he belongs. He has used his unique positioning in life to raise the consciousness of whomever it was willing to listen to him. He was the one who liberated us, particularly black males in this city, from the overt racial context of just traveling across the city. I remember Danny Glover saying, "Can a black man get a cab?" Thanking you for seeing it not robbery to come to Brooklyn once again to be a part of this conference that they're building here at Medgar Evers College, our public black institution.
We have seen as the Hollywood movement, as our Congresswoman has said, has often separated those that have ascended to the hierarchs of the industry, separating them from the community. And you have been such a strong example of showing how you can be up there in Hollywood, you can be there with the lights, camera, and action, and you can also be here in the trenches with our youth and with our community and with our students here today. And that is so very appreciated.
Whenever you receive an award, there's something else that happens. I'm Woody. You don't just receive an award at that moment. You figure out that the award is only symbolic of the work that we have to continue to do. You know, the award only presents us with an opportunity to reflect for a moment and then continue the long struggle for justice, for freedom.
But we now have this number that's thrown about that we can't take lightly, that there are 1.5 million black men in prison. When I was released from prison 20 some odd years ago, the United States of America had about 500,000 people who were locked up and was number 3 in the world in terms of the number of people that were incarcerated. Now we are undisputed number 1 with 2.5 million people locked up. As we speak now, there are more black men in prison today than there were in chains at the height of slavery. Many of this is related to drug laws that are applied unfairly to young black men and women.
And then one realized how severe, how multi-tentacled the system and the institutions of oppression are, and that they are so intertwined with race and class ownership and oppression, that it takes a little bit more than just being able to make enough money to give to Hyatt Hotel so that you can tell your friends, yes, I went on a vacation and I spent 3 days at Hyatt Hotel. Meanwhile, there was an African-American owned bed and breakfast where you would have paid less, but it didn't have the ring and the significance of Hyatt Hotel. So somehow Hyatt Hotel signifies that you have, quote, arrived. And so you would rather do that. I'm not casting any aspersions. I'm just saying the way in which we are conditioned to almost participate in some of our own demise.
I'm not old enough, I should say, to have actually been in the Black Arts movement, but I had older siblings who were. And when I decided to write Into the Go Slow, I was doing some of what Greg Carr was saying. Take your narrative and let that be the imaginative space where you can be liberated.
And all over the world,